Dylan got it bumping.
Hey, this is King Mal, the dedicational speaker, also the co-host of the Knucklehead podcast. Today, what we're doing is connecting with fathers and elaborating on how fathers can be and are great within our community. If we can change lives just by this simple thing, it will make a difference. Hey, do me a favor, tune in. How are you doing? This is King Mal, a part of Knucklehead Podcast, but today we are with Kings of Court. I have, not only am I a host, I have one of the best hosts in the business. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you for having me. I am Dr. Kimberly, 24-year Air Force veteran, also known as the Purpose Pusher. I help you walk in wealth by walking in your purpose, and I'm just here to have a good time with you
Oh, I'm ready.
and get this conversation going.
Let's get
Let's
it. Let's
go.
get it. We have such a panel today.
Okay.
And the panel, matter of fact, we're going to start your way. We're
Okay.
going to work our way around.
Let's do it.
Let's work the room.
Let's work the
So
room.
we have yours truly.
What's going on, y'all? Coach Andre Price, fitness coach, gym owner in Brandon, Florida. I'm here to impact, influence, and inspire 1 million lives over the course of my lifetime using training and fitness as my ministry.
Absolutely. And then we're going to pause and we're going to come my way a little bit.
All right, let's
And
go.
we have yours truly.
What's going on, family? It's Old Nelson Hill. Go with that past, rebel against self-sabotage. I help people, specifically the socially justice impacted community, re-enter society successfully through the power of emotional intelligence and fitness.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yo, Dr. Kim, we have someone that's going to shake the narrative today.
Okay, let's shake.
Someone that has started businesses, but also have looked at life as a father in a different realm.
Okay.
I don't want to say his name. I'm gonna go ahead and
We're going to let him
pass the
introduce
ball.
himself.
Please,
I'm excited.
let's go ahead and see
I'm
what he got.
excited.
Look at
What's
his
going on,
shirt.
y'all?
Look at his shirt.
What's going on, y'all? It's Roy, the modern rebel. Today I'm here to challenge the minds of these great people because a lot of people like to go with the norm and they like to just accept what's what's passed down to them as far as beliefs and stuff, and not me. I like to have a different perspective on things and just see and understand why people believe and think the things that they do. So let's see what they have for us today.
Absolutely.
That's really good. We need a different perspective,
We do.
which is why I'm glad to be here to bring the ladies' perspective.
Talk about it.
We're going to hold it down for the ladies today. So if you have questions, ladies, send your questions to the podcast, Knucklehead Podcast, so we can get it in. But we're going to be honest and we're going to be real and we're not taking anybody's side today. We're just going to get the conversation out and we're going to get it started.
So before we move forward, right?
Yeah.
Because we have such amazing panel and fathers.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your story.
Okay.
Like what? Because most people are like, why do you have a female on a father's panel?
Right.
And I have my answer. I can't answer for you, but I have my answer. But why? Because
Right.
I know you know the answer.
What I tell people from the beginning is I'm just a girl that believes everything God said about her.
Mm.
So growing up, I'm a daddy's girl. Love my dad. He passed away 8 years ago. Right. So Father's Day is extremely hard anyway, tomorrow. But I just didn't believe things about myself that were promising, that were good. And so my dad raised me thinking if he just gave me money and gave me presents with a T, that would make me happy.
Mm.
But that's all he knew. So I wanted his presents with a C. Right. So growing up, my father would just come around and give me different things. He, matter of fact, taught me 3 things about love that were incorrect. He taught me 1, show you off as a trophy.
Wow.
So I thought that was love because every time he came around, he showed me off. The second thing was he would buy me gifts. So I was looking for any man to buy me gifts because that meant it was love.
Right.
And then the third thing was he broke promises. So I looked for every man in my life to buy me gifts, show me off, and break promises.
Wow.
Because I thought that was love. So I lived a life doing different things, trying to learn the right way. But my dad thought he knew what he was doing. But I didn't see him any differently. I always loved my dad. So now when I get married and I marry somebody who doesn't do those things, then I'm conflicted and I'm confused. And I think you don't love me because I don't understand your love language is not speaking to what I know.
Right.
So now being a divorced mother of 5 children with a great father of my children, I'm in a different place to be able to see it. And now as a psychologist, I can really see it different because I had to learn how the mind works.
Love it, love it, love it. Let's go. So first of all, before I even go, your story, girl.
Let's go.
What did they do? Clock that T, whatever. Your
We
story
summed
is
it
one
up.
of a kind. But
Yes,
let's
I'm
go to our
grateful.
panels and talk first of all about myself. I have one child.
Okay.
You said five.
Yeah.
Let's see as far as the panel, the 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 blessings that they
Right.
have.
Well, I
Right.
want to hear your story though first. Can we
So
hear about you
wow,
with your one child?
you jumped into
We
it.
going first.
So as a father, me, my biological father wasn't there.
Right.
Right? So I grew up him a drug addict. So I'm a project kid. I grew up
Mm,
him a drug addict, not being there. He was there till 5,
right.
but after that he wasn't there. Right? Then he came back into my life in my 30s. In my 30s,
That's
and then
tough.
when he came back, my son was born, and he was in my son's life. But then out of nowhere, he kind of like disappeared.
Hmm.
But I remember the inconsistency in my personal life. So when he was like, "Hey," reaching out to me, I was like, "My guy, no, I
You had to
have nothing
say,
but love. I
yeah.
forgive, but I can't allow him to feel what I felt for 30 some years because it was pain. Like I didn't allow people. It's hard to get close to me.
Right.
Like I put a barrier up. Even to this day, I'll be honest with you. But I didn't want my son to go through that.
Right.
So in doing so, what I did was more so, hey, you can't come back and live with me. Like if you
Mm,
need help, I'll what I can do, I'll do.
right.
But you ain't gonna be inconsistent in his life because I plan to be here for a lifetime.
That's
So
good.
my story,
Those boundaries you got to
we'll
set
talk
in
about it a
place.
little bit,
We got
a
to hear
little
from the
bit
panel,
later.
but them
Yes, we'll
boundaries,
talk about it a little
even
bit
with your
later.
parents, they're
Yeah.
serious. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So that same question. Matter of fact,
Okay.
let's go ahead and bounce it to the panel. Mo, like, what does your childhood look like? What did that look like for you?
Well, unfortunately, I had the common young African American story. Growing up, a single mother, worked 3 jobs. Bust that tail, man, to provide everything she possibly could for me. Unfortunately, well, I'm gonna say unfortunately, but I did met my dad officially for the first time at the age of 13. I was still in middle school, 8th grade to be exact. And I had mixed feelings about it. Initially, I was kind of angry because I'm like, man, you just showing up when I'm already having sex, I'm already in through so many experiences, and now you can just show up on the scene and it's supposed to be kumbaya. But I still wanted a father so bad that I was able to forgive him and to be able to just accept him
Mhm.
being there. And we just, build a rapport moving forward. It wasn't the best. It wasn't what I anticipated in a father, but it was something. And
Absolutely.
I'm still grateful to this day. At least I had something. At least I knew my fathers and had certain conversations. So that's some
Never
all
let
over the
you.
nutshell. Yeah.
Gotcha. Roy,
Wow.
what about yourself?
Uh, for the most part, I grew up in a two parent household. I think my dad moved away when I was like 11 or 13. But yeah, he was my best friend. I understood why he had to move away. Him and my mom was together for 17 years, but they never married, and it just wasn't working. But yeah, he still stayed in contact. He was still present. So that's it.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Wow. Around the same age, too. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
13.
Yeah.
yeah. What?
Yeah, that's a pivotal time in their life. Right.
Great.
So I met my father through a letter in the mail. I believe I was 11 years old. He was incarcerated in Philadelphia in prison. I actually met him for the first time in person, I believe, at 13. So that's been a common
Wow.
age. But I know I was writing him for a while when I was 11. Um, when he finally got out, I still to this day don't know what he did because I didn't really want to have anything to judge him off of. I wanted to give him like his own experience with me and be able to give him a chance to just show me who he is. Um, through those times, we had some ups, we had some downs, we had a whole bunch of broken promises, we had a whole bunch of things that weren't delivered. And sometimes you gotta just accept people for who they are. Continue to give grace if you feel that it's just. Um, so we're kind of shaky right now. We go in and out because some of that old face still shows his face. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He does try, and I appreciate the attempts. I always give grace because at the end of the day, I feel like there's a void that needs to be filled when there's a male presence that's not in the household. Right. So in regards, and that's not restricted to age. So right. No matter how old you are, you're still gonna have a void that needs to be filled. So as long as I got, just like you, as long as I had something, it was enough. So it shaped me a lot to be the father I am now because I had a great example of what not to be. So
that's good.
That's pretty much my experience. We got, I think, to his knowledge, he has, I think, 6 of us. But he used to tell us when he got out, he was like, y'all probably got siblings out there I don't even know about. Wow. We actually just found out about one 4 or 5 years ago. He found us on Facebook and confirmed everything. And so we found out a couple years ago that we got another brother. But that's who he is. I'm not about to ridicule. He got out of jail. And we've had some good experiences. I actually had a lot of childhood experiences that I wish I had come to fruition when I was in college. So, because I play college ball, so even some small things of just playing catch with your dad, I was able to fulfill throughout all of the ups and downs.
So it's never too late. Yeah.
No, it's never too late because you don't want to neglect that void.
Right.
You can be as tough as you want to about that void, and you can say you don't need it, but no matter how old we grow, there's always going to be a kid inside of us, and that kid may be screaming and begging for that void. And if it comes down to playing catch for 10, 15 minutes, that kid is now satisfied. You can kind of complete that and move on.
I love that. So the kid in you, we always talk about that's the first person that's like surviving in you. Right. And so sometimes the person you meet is not the real person. It's who they made to survive.
Absolutely.
And so even now, y'all, we have Father's Day coming up. So I want to hear about that with your fathers in and out of your lives at 13 or whatever the age was. How do you celebrate Father's Day? Like society makes Father's Day seem like it is really a big deal. We got to celebrate them. But then the rest of the year, they're putting men down and they're talking about all the things that men don't do. So what do you guys think about that in society? But tomorrow on Father's Day, though, they're going to tell you to get a cup and a tie and take them out to dinner. How do y'all feel?
And that. For me, I really don't care about what society say. On Father's Day tomorrow, one of my sons are out of town, so I can't celebrate with him. But my youngest son, who's 3 years old, I probably take him to the park, hang out for a little bit, and then go out to eat. Yeah.
Is that all you want as a father? Or you feel like Mother's Day, they get gifts and they get roses and they expect you to get so many different things?
Oh, like gifts? No, because taking care of my kids, that's what I'm supposed to do. They say that's what we're supposed to do, but it's like, I want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't want to be rewarded for something you're supposed to do?
Yeah, I don't want to be rewarded. No. Just seeing them smile and stuff is enough.
Okay. Mo?
As far as me personally, I'm not real big on holidays at all.
Okay.
In no aspect, way, shape, or form. But I do understand, taking a day out to commemorate those who are displaying fatherhood at a high level because unfortunately, from the past and still a little bit in the present, you got people that are not handling their responsibilities correctly. As a man,
right.
As a father, as a parent, it's like he alluded to. I'm not real big on being rewarded for something I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
If I had intercourse with a woman, whether we're together or not, it's my responsibility to nurture and develop that child. Even if we're not on great terms, we got to find a way, got to do it. Because I know firsthand how it is to not have that masculinity presence in the household, in your life. It affected me in a major way, and I would never want my offspring to experience what I experienced. So it's inevitable for me to be there, stand on my 10 toes as a man, no matter what adversity I encounter. When it comes to my child, I'm going to go all out.
That's good. So you're not big on being celebrated on a certain day?
I mean, it's recognition does feel good. I'm a human at the end of the day. It does feel good to be recognized, but I don't put too much into it because every day is Father's Day.
That's
Father's Day 24/7. It's no discretionary when it comes to Father's Day. You made the kid, take care of the kid. Point blank period. That's it.
Y'all heard that? One more time. Made the kid what?
Made the kid, take care of the kid. Point blank period.
Even if you don't get along with the woman anymore, the mother anymore.
There's no discussion.
Because we're just adults. I told somebody when I got divorced, I didn't divorce the kids. I divorced him.
Exactly.
We just didn't work out. Yeah. But that doesn't mean I divorced my kids. We made children. So you can't divorce the children. What about you, bro?
I'm sorry. Can I hear your question one more time? I want to make sure I type.
Yeah, just how society celebrates Father's Day, right? But then throughout the rest of the year, they're talking about how bad the fathers are. There's no black men in the household. Like, should you be celebrated for doing what you should already be doing? Or do you like the holiday part?
I feel like I understand media and what sells and what grabs people's attention. Peaceful things, good humanity doesn't really get. It doesn't sell. It doesn't. It doesn't catch people's eye. But drama, negativity, disbeef, this like the amount of times people have been talking about Cardi B and what's going on is insane because there's a like we talking about this is Father's Day,
Right.
but the drama is what's going to sell. When it comes to mainstream media and the outsiders, I don't want to use profanity, but forget all that. How does your child feel about you?
That's good.
How does your child feel about me? I don't care what nobody, even my closest friends, like it feels good when they say, you're such a good dad. But every time I pick my daughter up, I pick my little girl up, she looks up and her eyes light up and she says, "Daddy," and she runs and she hugs me and she kisses me. That's my happy Father's Day. That's where I get my fulfillment in. So regardless of what the media says, because everybody's experience is going to be different. What mainstream media says doesn't align with who I am as a father. As long as I can look in the mirror and say that, without a blueprint, I'm doing my best. I feel like I'm making great decisions, and my daughter knows who her dad is, and she loves. Anybody who's been around me knows my daughter loves me, and I love her.
Yeah.
So I don't really care about what they say because they're gonna talk to who their audience is, and their audience loves drama and negativity. So that's all cool. When it comes to me and my daughter's relationship, my girl loves me. Every time she hugs me, kiss me, that's Happy Father's Day. I'm fulfilled with that. All the outside stuff is just noise.
Did you hear that?
I did.
I want to hear what you got to say, Mal, because I'm like, and all that stuff y'all said is free. Like, that's easy. Your daughter says, "I love you." That's Happy Father's Day. Mo's talking about every day is Father's Day. You right, wrong? Roy, I'm sorry. It's talking about it's just something you're supposed to do. Right? Mal, tell us.
Uh, I agree with Dre in all, but
Yeah.
when I look at when it comes to what people say as a father, there's no right or wrong. There's no you do this, and the third, right? So in my eyes, how I am with my sons, I don't raise him to be different than I was with my father because the
Yeah.
situation was different. I raised him to be like, hey, let me be present. Let me be present. If society says me being present is wrong because it doesn't have ratings, kind of like what Dre was saying,
Right.
anybody know me, Mo know me. I don't care. Like it is what it is. I can have the
Yeah.
lowest ratings, but as a father, I have the highest.
Yeah,
Like
we
the
said that
conversation
earlier.
is different. The conversation is different because I'm impacting his life.
Yeah.
So all in all, when it comes to whatever other people say, I don't care.
So it's what your kids say about you. That's like the norm. I think
Very, very
that's
impactful.
important.
So I love my son. Trying to trying to say it in the most political way, but according to we have Raw on the set, I don't care what people say. Like I deal with my son.
Yeah.
But outside of that, because I ain't trying to get emotional. I said,
No, we going there today. No, we going there today.
But
Tell us how you feel, man.
don't touch me.
Y'all got that on camera. Tell us how you feel.
So all in all, I agree with Dre. I agree with Roy. I agree with Mo. It is like society is going to tell you to do one thing because they're very big on drama. Oh, don't be your son's life. The mom, which I'm not dealing with, is saying this. Be like, don't be there.
Right.
I'm there.
That's
I'm
good.
there. I'm very proactive. But I have a question for everyone.
We gotta talk about
So
that.
you trying to go?
And hold on, ladies. If a man says "Don't touch me," he really mean it, don't he?
No.
I mean, in general, like, what if y'all are talking on an emotional subject? I want to talk about it,
Oh, here we go.
and then a man says "Don't touch me."
As soon as I said
He
that,
really means
soon
don't
as I
touch
said
me,
that, I
though.
knew she was going to say that.
Because we gotta address it. Because women will still keep crying, right?
I really.
But
was
I know
joking.
you was joking.
I
But
was
in
joking.
an emotional, in a relationship, in a conversation, if you say "Don't touch me," you really mean like, "Give me a minute."
Yeah.
Right.
Is it okay for a man to have a
you're
minute?
true.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
That is
on the
true.
other hand as well. If a woman tell you don't touch her in the midst of a very emotional, convoluted conversation, don't touch her.
They might be processing, right? I just
Or
wanted to help
joking.
y'all out there real quick.
Or
You know,
joking.
No, we know you're joking
Y'all
in a
just him.
moment, but in
Like,
a
you know the difference.
Like, or
I'm trying to help
joking.
somebody in their relationship right now. Somebody watching at
You
home.
about to break
I'm
relationship.
trying.
Right.
You about to break relationships
Love,
right
though.
now. What you doing? You about to break relationships.
Wait, what happened? What happened?
You just went left.
What happened?
Dr. Kim, I'm about to ask him a question because, hey, anyone that's in a relationship, connect with your significant other and feel like if you should touch them or not. Dr.
Get
Kim.
on the same page.
Yes.
Just get on the same
She
page.
about to
If that
break the
man mean what he
relationship.
say, then I
Thank
don't know what he
you.
say.
That's
Get on the same
it.
page. That's all.
So my question,
It's live, y'all.
love.
Come on.
Oh my goodness. My question is, why do some fathers love their kids, but they still stay away?
Mhm.
And it's open for
Mm.
anyone to answer that question.
Oh man, I gotta take this one. So I have a cousin that, without the shadow of a doubt, is an amazing father, and it's kind of emotional because I remember one day I called him and I said, "Cuz, yeah, what's going on, man? Where you at?" I'm at Barnes and Noble. I'm like, "What you doing at Barnes and Noble?" He said, "Man, I'm getting my son. Um, you need to tighten up on his math in school." So I ran down here real quick to get him a workbook to work on. That touched me. That touched me so much because for you to go outside, like to get outside your comfort zone, to go to Barnes and Noble just to pick his son
Mhm.
and get a math book to help him with his math, like you're being that
Yeah.
tutor, right? And I just see like he practices baseball with him. He's really there for his kids. But the I don't like to say baby mama, I don't want to use that term, but the mother of his children is giving him a hard time, making it
Mhm.
very complex for him. And by this being my family, who I know is a great father, having these type of challenges just to take care of his children, it irks my nerves. So we had a heart to heart conversation, and he kind of got a little teary eyed after hearing his voice on the phone. He was like, "Cuz, sometimes I just want to give up. I love my kids so much, but what she taking me through, excuse my language, I just want to say fuck it
Mhm.
and make some more kids and just live long happily ever after that because I'm going through so much. This woman will not let me see my children. And when I try, you want to put the police on me. You want to get the court involved.
Yeah.
That hurt me, man, because you got so many busters out here. What I experienced from my own dad, no disrespect, that they want nothing to do with their kids in a period of time. But you got somebody who wants to be there for their children, willing to die, do anything for their children. And because you don't want to be in a relationship with you, or you got your personal endeavors, opinions about this person, you're going to use this kid as bargaining chips.
Right.
It hurts.
So
My family go through that.
Yeah.
I'm go ahead, my bad, Trey.
The question was like, why do they stay away as far as like in the household or relationship, or do you mean
Household relationship or the relationship with their kids, they stay away.
like
Um,
completely like
yeah,
they want to be
or in
great
this
fathers?
scenario, what he was saying, or just in general, they're more so like, "Hey, I love you, but my circumstances or me, your mom's circumstances,
Mhm.
don't allow me to be there."
Mm. I didn't want to cut you. I just wanted to be clear. So
Okay,
just like you about to say something.
so I was gonna,
Oh,
I'm gonna ask you a question. So why not go through the court system if she's drawing you to a certain situation? And I'm asking you, you're not your cousin, but I want to ask you, why not go through the court system and be like, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and do 50-50. Let me go ahead and do put myself or one of us, because at the end of the day, now we live in a world where one of us can be on child support.
Mhm.
It don't have to just be me. You may be, we live in a world, and Dr. Kim said it
I'm
earlier
on
that
child support,
that
y'all.
dang. Oh,
They laugh when I walk in the building, baby. They be like, "Here
uh,
go Kimberly."
yeah. So certain people, Dr. Kim, certain people are paying child support, but why not make it where hey, I need to see the kids, so by
Right.
any means necessary, I'm going to figure it out. Like why are we not doing that?
I'm glad you asked that question because
Mhm.
that was a question we did end up having, and he's open to it. And I told him, man, I'm here to support you. However I can, I'm here to support you, man. But and I told, like I tell everybody, and I told him, man, you have to be uncomfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
It's gonna be a very uncomfortable circumstance for you. But about your kids, bro, you already know how we stand up dads. I am by, I am by mine, and he know how I expect him to be by his. You know what I mean? Everybody got close with. You go all out for your kids, man. Take your last breath for your kids. Do what you gotta do, cuz.
That's good.
I agree. So can I add, I'm gonna ask this question to everybody because I want to elaborate on that that question. I know we're going off strip. I'm
That's
sorry,
okay.
but
Yeah.
when is it or when is it not right to be like if you're running into this situation that he was saying to be like, hey, let me put myself because I make more money, or let me put her because she makes more money. But either way, let me do whatever I need to do to see my kid. When is it time to do it? Like, how long are we going to sit and wait as fathers?
Got that. Me personally, I feel like we all human beings. Human beings do things for one reason, and one reason only. That's because they feel like it. At the end of the day, so when it comes down to you asking somebody, you're a great father, but you're not there, in my personal opinion, it can be right or wrong. You don't gotta agree with it, but whatever the driving force is behind you wanting to be a good father is not strong enough for you to want to go through that fight in order to be a good father. So you may want to be a good dad. You may have a vision of being a good dad, but you don't really want it bad enough to have to go through the fight. And that's kind of what represents how good of a father you are. Because when it's all said and done, and the child grows up and they become the age where you can have these certain conversations, you're gonna have to say, I had to go through this for us to have this experience, for us to have this relationship. Part of me being good to you was me navigating through this battle and overcoming this. And sometimes it's from the mom to the dad, sometimes it's from the dad to the mom. The opposite side of that is going to have to face that and have that conversation. And they're going to have, the child's going to ask, why? Why'd you put my dad through that for him to be able to see me? And they're going to have to answer that. Mm-hmm. And of course, life, when it comes to disagreements, is all about their perspective. So she'll have her perspective and the dad will have their perspective. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if the dad or whatever side of the parent is able to say that my want and my will to be a good father far outweighs whatever difficulty I got to do to handle that, then it's going to get done. And if it doesn't get done, just like we say in every other aspect, you didn't really want it bad enough. And that sucks to say. That sounds bad to say. But if you're saying like you can the scope of your lens, if I look at this and I'm making it 10 times bigger than what it is, a different father might say, all you had to do was go through a court to be able to be a good dad. You didn't want it bad enough to go through the court. And some other dad might be like, dang, she making you go through all that to go through court to be a good dad. You might as well go ahead and just, is it worth it? That's the question. Is it worth the fight? As long as the answer is yes, you're going to do whatever you got to do. That's what men do. We're going to do whatever we got to do to figure it out and be present for your child. Does it mean enough to you? Is it worth it? The the result of that answer is going to impact the child 10 times more than it's going to impact you.
Wow.
So you got to keep them first. Like, is my child being happy and understanding who her father is and having an example of what a good father is that worth me going through this little battle? Mm. If it hits hard enough, that big battle gonna come way down here, and you're gonna look at it like that's it. That's all I gotta do to get through to be a good father. Easy work.
Right.
Easy work.
You answered my question. I was about to ask you. I was like, I had another question. You already answered it. So.
But that's good though. And then think about too. So I got divorced, right? And I heard somebody say too, it's kind of you want them to go through pain like you went through. Mm-hmm. And so that's often why people don't do the fight or they don't do what they have to do. Me being on the other side, I know it now, right? Because yes, he got 1% more custody. And so I pay child support, but I had to fight. I'm the one getting the letters to like suspend my license or pay extra money. I'm feeling like the man now. I'm like, gosh, it's a lot of stuff they put men through in court, right? And I got to show up to court and I got to explain myself and I have to talk about why I defend that I'm getting it, right? The one judge told me you're a boss. So I'm with you. I'm on your side. And I'm like, why is that even a thing? Why do I have to be a boss, this independent woman? So I should be paying child support. Like that, it doesn't make sense to me. But I went through a phase of I kind of want him to pay, right? Because I felt like when I was married, I did it all myself. So now I'm divorced. You gonna get to raise these children. You gonna see what it is to do hair and take them to camp and get them dressed. And I think that's the same thing men may go through. I'm asking is, do you want them to pay? And you like, you know what? They gonna have to deal with this. They gonna have to deal with that before you fight for your child or do whatever. And so you have to put yourself out of the way. But do y'all or do you know people like that maybe have gone through that phase of I'm gonna make them pay. We ain't together no more.
I think when we're in that situation, one side of the parent dynamic feels like they're in an unfair position. I have to do more than you have to do.
Right.
So now that we have it on paper, I want you to feel what it feels like to do what I have to do. And it may not even be about the obstacle or what's required.
Right.
It's just about I want you to know what it feels like to do this, and this. And I feel like you don't know what that feels like, so that's unfair. I have to work harder than you because you don't understand this. But if
Right.
we can bridge that gap and we can come to a mutual understanding, maybe you'll be more open to asking for help, and the other person may be open to giving it. But when it gets to the point where it's kind of like I'm doing it to get back at you, that energy can shift the whole
Yeah.
trajectory of the situation. Now it's not even about the kid; it's about me trying to make you feel bad.
Correct.
But if it's about that kid and you're like, I'm trying to have you understand that this is hard for me, so you do this and understand how hard it is. Now I got clarity. Dang, this is hard. And I don't want you to have to go through all of this. How can I help? That's two
Right.
people coming together and working forward for the child, not two people coming together and say, "What can I do to make this person feel this?" or "How much money can I get out of this?" Or it's not transactional and it's not a vendetta behind it. It's just we want to keep the kid first. This is how the kid needs to live with me. This is how the kid needs to live with you. Let's come to a mutual agreement. Let's come to an understanding, and let's move forward for the best interest of the child. As long as the best interest of the child is the forefront, we really shouldn't run into those problems.
Yeah.
But sometimes we put our own personal, like,
We do.
you did me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and I got your kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not fair that you did me wrong, and I got your kid. But now I got your kid, I got power. I'm going to make you feel this. That's not about the kid. That's from me to you.
That's that pride, that bargaining chip.
Ego.
So as
Yeah.
long as that, if the dynamic, so sometimes when we have disagreements, we got to ask ourselves, is this about the child?
Mm-hmm.
Is this for the best interest of the
Right.
child? If this is for the best interest of the child, we really shouldn't have no disagreements. We should be thinking like you should be thinking how I'm thinking, I should be thinking how you think it because you think for the best interest of the child. And we
Right.
both know what decision needs to be made for the best interest of the child. If we can stay locked in on that, make that our forefront, anything outside of that, just bring it to God, boom, solve that.
Right.
But interest of the child is the forefront, everything should be taken care of, and everybody should see eye to eye.
So where do men get that mindset?
Hold on, what am I saying?
The mindset of we need to see eye to eye or we need to work together. So you don't let pride and ego come in the way. Because a lot of men may not have that mindset or they weren't raised that way. Where do men get this good mindset from?
It's just gotta be in you. If you're a stand-up guy, you already have it. Like in my situations, um, my first, the first mother of my child, the mother of my first child, when we separated, she left my son with me. So I had to do everything that she would normally do, but she reached out and still did what she could. So there was no hard feelings or none of that. Um, and I want my kids with me, so it wasn't much for me. It was a no brainer. I was gonna do it anyway. And my second my second son, I wanted him to come live with me when me and his mother separated, but she didn't she didn't want it, so he lives with her. But I mean, I see him every day. I drop him off to daycare, pick him up, so
So how did that
that
make you
worked out.
feel?
But I mean, it made me feel good because we didn't have to, we came to the agreement to where we didn't have to go through none of the court system and all that. And then they understand that I'm a stand up guy and that I'm trying and I'm going to do, what I'm saying, what I have to do for my kids. So
Mm-hmm.
once we seen eye to eye on that, they was like, all right, well, I'll meet you here and you can meet me there. And then it worked out.
What if they did want to put you on child support though?
They did.
Here we go.
Oh Lord. Eh?
I mean, it was going to be a fight because I'm going to come hard. We're
Yeah.
going to try to get the best lawyers we can and see what we can do.
And so what's the issue with the child being put on child support? Is it because of the system or is it because of you don't want to set number determined to you by somebody else? Like what is it with the child support?
Um,
The pushback.
for me, I mean, the pushback. Like I said, I'm gonna do whatever for my kids. So it's like, I don't think you will have a legitimate reason for putting me on child support because there's nothing you can ask me for my kids that I won't give you. You know what I'm saying? There's
Mhm.
nothing that they need that I won't do. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you can't show up here, I'm gonna show up there, or I'm gonna try to show up there. So
Yeah, Mo.
Okay,
Come
I
on.
got a question.
Emotional
So
intelligence.
I just got a question,
yeah,
though, Roy. But what if you said you'll do anything, right?
yeah.
Be in a kid's life. What if she's asking you, be with me? I want to be in a relationship like the good old time. Then what?
We
It's
got
from the wrong spirit.
mm.
Yeah,
It's
it
from the
ain't
wrong
gonna work.
spirit. You incentivizing me using my child. It's from the wrong spirit.
But he said he's willing to do anything for it to be
like that.
Within reason.
It happens
Within
though.
Yeah,
reason.
but when you said he just said he said anything. So I'm saying she, because it's women.
Yeah,
That's what my
'cause
cousin.
what's
It's
in
women out there
within
like
reason?
that.
Yeah.
Well, be with me then.
Okay.
You want to be with your child? You want to be on child
Contribute
support?
to a healthy relationship.
Be
You
with
asking
me.
something from me? I'm asking contribute to a healthy relationship that is so healthy that I want to be with you.
Yeah.
Don't force me to be with you. Be somebody that I want to be with, and I'll try to be somebody that you want to be with. But trying to say I'm gonna hold your kid captive, be with me if you want to be involved. Once again, are we talking about the child? Because when you say be with me, the child is not coming first at all. Your personal feelings are coming 1st and that's cool to you. Child gets hurt from that. Can you face that in the mirror? And when she grows old enough to have that conversation, are you willing to have that genuinely and honestly? Child support is.
So I agree
Oh,
100%.
the child support one, boy, got her.
I agree 100%. One of the things I would say, and then before we move on, is to answer that in certain situations, and I have friends, and they're like, "Hey, man, I'm going through exactly what you said. Hey, do this or do this, or I'm gonna go to the court." Hey, bro, beat them at the court. Beat them, beat them then.
Yeah.
Right.
Beat them at the court. Because if they're gonna do it anyway, beat them at the court. It is what it is. I just need you. I don't as a friend, I don't even know much about her. I know about the little one. Let's make sure that we have father and day let's go hang out.
Yeah.
So be there at the court and let's go hang out. When you have the custody, let's do what we need to do. Get your ego out the way.
Right.
Cause your ego here, not you, but you know what I'm saying. Your ego here just as well as hers. Because now you like, oh, you trying to play me? Let say less. I'm about to do. Nah, move that. Let's do what we need to do, handle what we need to handle, and let's move forward. And whatever she feeling, she feeling. But let's go do it the correct way, cause she gonna do it. Either you do it or she gonna do it. But the kid is the main priority. Dre said it. Let's figure it out. And sometimes you can't go into a situation expecting somebody else to feel how you feel. They gonna you gonna be emotionally intelligent, right? And then they're gonna be more so egotistical, and you're gonna try to battle. And next thing you know, the emotional intelligence go away, and you battling ego for ego. Forget that. No, hey, let's do what we need to do. This is the main priority, right? And what happens is, right, us as men or people in general is we run into generational curses that we've already experienced in our lives. We run into like me, my father wasn't there, right? You ran to your everybody had their experience. And one of the things that I want to talk about is are we really seriously trying to break our generational curses, or are we trying to have a certain level of a process for our kids to grow into a healthy relationship or life in general? Are we doing it for ourselves as fathers, or are we doing it for our kids? Because I see a lot of fathers saying, "Oh, my dad wasn't did X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna make sure my kid." No. Like, how do you feel about that?
Can I chime in on the whole
Talk to me.
child support thing? Because I want to take that a little bit deeper. There's something that I need a lot of people, just in case somebody's battling with this whole child support thing and they're trying to figure it out why. I'm going to speak off of what I believe. My perspective is if it aligns, it does. If it don't, it don't. When child support comes as a result of possible or or if it's just being done, it comes from non-compliance. You're not helping me out. You're not contributing towards taking care of this child. I'm going to take it to court. The court is going to tell you you have to contribute towards taking care of this child by paying X amount of dollars. I don't think good fathers belong on child support, but I also think that good fathers should take initiative so there is no even question about child support. I'm not going to spill too much about my personal situation because she's not here. But when we are doing our split up, I said I want to take care of it because when we split, there's still responsibilities. I'm not going to put you in an unfair game. I'm not going to put you in a place where you have to have your back against the wall. One thing I promise my daughter's mom, you will, as long as I'm around, you will never ever have your back against the wall, and I'm going to take care of this. I'm pretty much going to do my best to contribute towards the lifestyle, so you can live a certain lifestyle. Because in turn of you living a certain lifestyle, my daughter gets to live a certain lifestyle. I'm going to take care of that. So if that means paying rent, paying this, paying that, making sure you send in extra money, clothes, diapers, wipes, I'm going to send you this much amount and you're gonna get it at this day every month. I took initiative because I'm like, this isn't gonna be easy.
Right.
We're now split. We're in two different households. I'm not about to tell you now. You got to out the blue. You got to just pay all this amount of rent. Da 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 da. I'm an entrepreneur. It's I have the availability to go make more money so I can go provide more for y'all. And y'all come first. So when I make my money, I look at my monthly report, I say, before anything happens, this goes to my daughter's mom so her household can get taken care of. When we start bringing child support into it, from an ego standpoint, you telling me that I'm not taking care of my responsibilities, or you don't see me taking care of my responsibilities, or you don't see me have enough stamina to take care of my responsibilities long enough for it to actually last. So you want to go get the courts involved. And the downfall of that is, let's say, okay, we fight it. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a do a couple things to make it look like I make this.
Mm-hmm.
And if that court say you're getting $125 a week, I promise you, you will not get nothing more than that $125 a week. Because now my ego is attacked.
Right.
And so I'm going to say, fine, let's do the child support then. You probably going to end up getting less money, less help, less support. And now this is us going against each other. I paid your child support. Don't ask me about nothing else. And I know people who will go so far, and this is no shade, I'm just using an example. I know some people who will go so far as, I live a certain lifestyle and you don't. When this child is with me, this is the clothes they wearing, the shoes they wearing, this is what we got going on, da 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 da. And I'm gonna send them back in the same type of clothes and the same type of experience. So they live that experience with you, and they live this type of experience with me. Why? Because it's a child support thing, it's a fairness thing. If that's what you want to call it, that's what it's gonna be. And when it's with you, that's what it's gonna be. When it's with me, it's gonna be. But that's two different lifestyles. So that's not. It depends on how you see it. But sometimes I do know a lot of people who I told my daughter's mom, I said, let's not do the child support thing because it's going to make us take a big step back. And I never missed on my responsibilities because I made sure they were at the forefront. I'm the man, I'm the provider. And, when it comes down to it, if the woman's going to be the weaker vessel, that's not my call. That's the scripture. If the woman's going to be the weaker vessel, I need to be handling my responsibilities on behalf of the family first for my daughter to live a certain lifestyle. But I know people, you can put them on child support and they might be like, oh, that's it? That's all I got to pay? Because I was prepared to take your little $700 a month.
Right.
Go ahead. And don't ask for nothing outside of that. Two
Right.
egos.
I'm gonna ask you a question because I gotta follow up, and I just got to.
Come on.
There's fathers that feel the same exact way.
Yeah.
Right. But then they look at it and they're like, hold on, you got these shoes with my money? You got this with my money? When the child support, and I don't want to break down child support because it's broken down into the livelihood of the child.
Right.
But ideally, from a father's standpoint, this is supposed to be taking care of my child, right? You're telling me that all the lifestyle you live, you just went to Bora Bora with the band that I just sent you? Nah, my boy, I can't support that.
Can I tell you the hard reality of that? I'm gonna lose a lot of people on this.
No, you good.
That is not your business.
But as a father,
it's not your business. Your fulfillment comes from doing the thing. If I send $2,200 a month, my fulfillment comes from sending that $20 a month. I don't know what you got going on because it's not my business.
Right.
I don't know if you picked up another job, if you're doing this, if you got money from this, if you got money from that, da da da. But if I'm gonna look at image, if the optics say I gave her money and now she's taking trips, why she using my money to take care of trips? My money is what I felt to be reasonable to pay this and fund this lifestyle. Whatever is extra is extra. I fulfilled my duty. My completion, my satisfaction, my fulfillment comes from completing my duty, not the result of it. I don't need to see receipts of tell me that show me you paid rent, show me you did this, da, da, da. Why you got these shoes, da, da, da. Not my business. I did my part in the story.
Question for you, with the father. So now I'm gonna keep throwing it back to you. Now you see that, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with me, and I'm not in that situation. If I see that, and Junior is not
taken care of, come on,
that's the conversation.
But that's what I'm saying. That's
yeah.
So that's what I mean.
Yeah,
is there's individuals that pay child support and their little one hair's not done, clothes not. The mom's living a lifestyle out of this world. As a father, you're paying what you need to pay, and you're doing what you do, but you're looking at it. You're like, hold on, pause.
That's
Where's it going?
You know what I'm saying? Like
you're saying what the direction is.
I love how you. I love that you live. I love you living your life because I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
But the conversation is different when my little one is over
It's
here
not.
looking like he just came out of baby kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
That was the push. I had two pushbacks I wanted to throw you away. That was one of them because I know individuals that experienced that.
Yeah.
Saying, and it's like because what he said is right. What he alluded to is
No,
right. It ain't my business. We ain't together. It's not my relationship. But now, when the neglect comes about from my child,
Right.
when I know I'm paying this money specifically for the well-being of my child, but standards are not being met. Now I gotta get in your business.
Yeah.
Sweetheart, what are you doing with this money I'm sending you every month?
Yeah.
Why is my child don't have clean shoes on? Shoes too little. Hair ain't done. My child calling me at midnight talking about they're hungry. I'm snapping.
Yeah.
I'm snapping, Jay.
As you should.
I'm snapping.
As you should.
I give you $2,200 a month, and my kid talking about they hungry,
And you and Bora Bora?
and you on board it's somebody can get some answers.
You're saying what's the move
You know what I'm
forward
saying?
for that?
But hold on, but I got another pushback too. Another thing you alluded to, you said if child support gets incorporated in the conversation, there's some non-compliance.
Right.
I gotta disagree.
No,
Oh, okay.
right.
Or the possibility.
Oh, possibility. Okay,
You're
okay.
presenting this because you don't think I'm going to
Okay.
handle you.
All right, okay, okay. So,
That's
so
right.
that kind of changed the trajectory of what I was about to say, but I was just wanting to add because there are men that provide receipts. And my mom always told me growing up,
Yeah.
even as a little, hey, if you get a girl pregnant, always if you take care of that kid, always have receipts. Because
Yeah.
if she ever try something fun, you can show the court. Hey, I'll take care of mine, partner. And I hate to be like
It
that.
gets
So
ugly.
you gotta protect yourself. So so when you say non-compliance, you're like, well, what if I did everything? You just want to be with me. I just gotta say, women out there are so vindictive. And no shade to the sisters, women at all. I love
Hold on.
everybody.
Yeah.
No,
Not
yeah,
all the ladies.
So, yeah.
no pun intended.
Go ahead.
But what I'm trying to get at is that there are women out here that you can do everything right, everything by the book, bro. But I want you. They see the value. You're a gold, and they can't have you because we just not there. We just on the line. Our personalities don't match, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But because of that, you want to have this vendetta and use my child as a bargaining chip and make it so tough when you know I'm doing the right thing because I don't want to be with you.
So, for the first thing, when it was like, well, when we were talking about the non-compliance thing, yes, women may be vindictive. And let's just be looking at it from an open eye and open it with grace. This is a general conversation, so I'll feel free to disagree about it.
Right.
Yes, they may be vindictive. They may be hurt. Overall, when it comes to the initial, like let's say splitting up, what if we splitting up by putting you on child support? That may not come from vindictive. That may not be coming because I'm trying to hurt you. They're also scared. They now have to navigate life by themselves. The thought of them being a single mother is frightening. They don't know if they can handle that. That comes with a lot. And they don't know that because we split that you're going to have my back. So it's initial reaction. You going to leave me while I'm putting you on child support? That's a backup plan. We didn't never talked about how I'm going to take care of you, what's going to be the thing moving forward. But I'm hurt and now I'm scared. We might be moving out. I might need to find a new spot in 30 days. How am I going to pay for it? Oh, okay, I'm going to put him on child support. You said it like you're afraid. And that's okay.
What if I show you though?
And that's a different conversation.
That's what
I'm talking about
I told you.
the initial split up.
Oh.
If the initial split up is like, I can't handle this, I'm out, we split. Boom. She's scared in that moment. She's pissed. Y'all both pissed. Y'all hurt. Y'all got 1,000 emotions going on. But if that panic kicks in, I don't know I'm going to take care of myself in this job. I'm putting you on child support. We never had a conversation about what I'm going to do. The heat is still on. Let's let the heat calm down. We'll revisit this conversation with some what's the word I'm looking for? Respect. And I'll say, okay, we're now split. As a man, you lead this conversation. We're now split. The dynamics have changed. I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable. Me personally, I'm not going to put you where your back is against the wall. This is the lifestyle you continue to live. This is how I'm going to contribute towards it. This is what I'm doing. If what I'm presenting to the table, if you feel like it's not enough, take it to court. Put me on child support. You probably end up getting less. But I'm sure with what you're going to present, if it comes from the best interest of the child, you're going to present something that has them taken care of. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you control how much money you make. If you operate a little bit higher, you'll get a little bit more income. I'm going to present you with this. This is what I'm presenting to you in the lifestyle you're going to live. Da, 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 da. Is that okay for you? If they say okay, boom, done for. The first conversation about like, yeah, if you send in the money and the child's not living an adequate lifestyle to the money that I'm sending, what's steps moves forward? That's an ugly game. That's so ugly, and sometimes you can't always fight ugly with grace. You gotta fight ugly with ugly, and your ugly looks like you sending me all this money, you funding my lifestyle to do this, and your kid doing this. That's ugly. My ugly is course involved, or my ugly is, I, you said you needed money for this, that. Instead of me sending you that money, here goes the diapers for the week. Here goes some shoes. Here goes this, that, and I'm taking this money away from you. That seems fair to me. Because if it's always about the kid, I need money for cold shoes. This, that. It's expensive. I'll contribute it. I provided it. You no longer have that need, and as a result, I'm taking this amount of money away.
You got to get permission from the court to do that. You can't just
not
if you're agreement. But I'm saying if it's within the court that you have to send this amount of money every month, you can't make the proposition and say, well, look, since you live in this lifestyle with the money I'm sitting in, my kid ain't got this adequate amount of living. I'm gonna take the money from me and I'm just gonna provide the diapers, the food. Yeah. So you gotta get permission from the court.
Child support. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what I was talking about is if you're not child support. Now, that's that's when things are gonna get a lot more ugly because it's not set in stone. When we go to court, it's not stone. It's not for the rest of your life. This is how it is for now. If we decide to open that case back up, and now we're talking about my child has this quality of living with me and this quality of living with her, and I feel like it should be fair. When we talk about it getting ugly, it can get ugly to the point where you got majority custody because I'm proving this, that, and her priorities are not in the best interest of the child. There's not really many dads that are trying to fight for their kids like that. So it's not like it's going to be impossible or super difficult for you to get that majority custody. If you fight that, you can for sure win it. You can open that case back up. And as long as it's about the child, you won't be wrong. You can go to a court and say, listen, I'm sending this money, but she's wearing this, living like this, call me that she's hungry, you have the proof about it, da 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 da. As a result, I want majority custody. Don't quote me on this, but I'm not too sure that you still have to pay a child support when you have majority custody. So that can relieve you of your financial duties. You get the child born, the child's now in a better position, and now maybe like you get her every other weekend or a week type of thing, and we're gonna have to figure that out. But I would definitely have that conversation, like, hey, this is going this way, this is what things will look like, this is what I'm prepared to do about it. If you don't change, hey, of course, let's do it. Absolutely. And I'll get majority custody, and it's for the best interest of each.
Or if you have 50-50, then nobody has to pay child support if you do 50-50 through the court. And two, it's not always a situation. It could be divorce. Right. You get divorced, they make you do child support. They make you do custody. So it's not because someone wasn't doing anything or I didn't have a chance to show up. It's right from divorce. They make you do the parenting plan and everything. So you leave the divorce with your parenting plan and who has custody. So it's not based on if I'm going to do good or he's going to do good. It's just like, where are we at this moment? And then if the woman makes more than the man, then, and like I talked about in my situation, then that's what's going to happen. And then you end up paying child support. And the judge will ask you one last time, but if you pay child support, that's just what it is. Again, until you go back, then you're changing custody again, but it all deals in how much time you have, which is another question I have for y'all is boundaries. Because it sounds good sitting here in the smoke shop talking about boundaries and being cordial. But what about, like Mo said, when they just want you? So you break up, you're in the relationship, but how the boundaries actually come in to say that I'm not supporting you anymore. But you was just dating me. You was just with me for 3 years. And you paid for everything. Now we're not together and I still have a child. What are you going to do? So here we can talk about it because it's nice and chill and calm. But what do you do when you're in a heated situation with the person you just left?
You know, you always got to execute emotional intelligence. Even when it seems so challenging, you got to, because one split decision can alter your life forever. I know what that feels like firsthand. So we always, with me, I tell my clients and people I work with, and this is just universal. Every decision you make, try to foreshadow the face. Try to play it in your head that you already commit this action and these are the consequences of your behaviors. And 9 out of 10 when you do that, 9 out of 10 you'll make the optimal choice at that given time. But in regards to a woman, you know, holding my child as a bargaining chip, and we both know this, I got to get a little dirty. If I got to report the conversation, a camera, a video, Whatever I got to do, because I'm always gonna be my child. I'm fighting top line talking to parents. Yeah. So if it's like that, you want to play dirty, you want to play some games. I got to report, whatever the case may be. Bring it to them, tell you this support. Listen, this is why I'm going through all this strain. You know, I don't want to be with this woman. I elevated mentally. We're not cool. Our personality on the line. I respect that as a woman of my child. I don't want this to affect my child's psyche. I don't want my child to have a negative impression of me. But what's going on? She's instilling in these. I know people, I don't want to do it. You know, trying to instill in their child by the dad. You know what I mean? Oh, your dad ain't like that, but that dad a good man. You just want to be with the man don't want to be with you, and you taking it out.
So hold on, Mo. Was she toxic when you met her? When you laid down and had a baby with some situation?
Sometimes.
Oh, y'all ready now?
See, sometimes the dynamic.
Did she just cry?
Listen.
Did something happen?
Sometimes.
Or was it already in her?
Sometimes. And not sometimes. A lot of times, everybody has some type of trauma they got going on. Right. Some people can handle it more than others. Now, initially upon meeting that person, everybody puts their best foot forward. Mm-hmm. First impression is the last impression. Everybody, when you first meet, that's male on meet male, male meet female, friendship, whatever. Everybody wants to make the first impression. All right? Now, when you're spending ample amount of time with somebody, people get comfortable. Mm-hmm. People let the guard down on the person down. Now you get to see the real person. Yeah, it's like not to know something when we went back out the country, you see the real me. I see the real you. You get what I'm saying? So, in that happening, now I'm seeing the real you that, man, you wasn't like this when we first met. How this coming about? Now I see that I don't like this. This is not suitable for me. It's a little toxic. Right? For me, I might be a little toxic.
You might have had something come out too.
Yeah, I might have something come out. And
that she don't like.
You know, but now it's not, our personality is not conducive.
Okay.
And you know, it's time for a split. Because one thing about it, I'm going to give a thing. Peace is everything. Yeah. If the peace is being disturbed, it can be my mama. If the peace is being disturbed, I have to subtract you. I have to subtract from your life. Mm-hmm. Peace being disturbed. So, respectfully, we're going to split our ways. But I love my child dearly. I want to give my child the best of me that I possibly can. Please don't get in the way of it.
But what if you both came together on some trauma bonding in the beginning? Right? You both had trauma, both had issues, it bonded, it was cute. Now you've grown, but she hasn't grown. And you're ready to go because you've already healed and you're better. What about her that got left behind somehow in the process? And now you're ready to go.
A lot of people don't like this.
Tell people.
They about to killing me in the comments.
Come on, y'all.
It takes so much for a man to actually leave.
We got amens. Okay.
So much.
Say it again.
Like, it takes so much.
It takes so much. Hold on, y'all.
To actually execute the part of leaving.
Okay.
It takes so much because we'll put ourselves second, third, fourth, or fifth. We'll speak, we'll give time, we'll give the time. And the thing that's probably not going to be fair is that we'll communicate wants and needs and offer you opportunities to solve them. If it's not met, there's a certain level of stamina we have of not having those needs met. Once that stamina exhausts itself and gets to that breakthrough point, and the thing is, as the stamina exhausts itself, y'all might be able to do one thing that fills the whole meter back up. Mm. It's not really too hard. Once you understand it, man. It's not too hard to really keep it in. But
in those real quick, but in those moments that she's not fulfilling you, do you let her know after the first and second?
I do, and you should. Now,
because that's being communicated.
It's a bad thing about men, though, when it comes to own self-destruction.
Okay.
We'll say, hey, can I get some of this, that? Mm-hmm. I think we're a little more lenient on not receiving it. I think, and then, but that comes with a standard. Can I get this out of you? When your partner, as a man, you ask your woman for something, the other conversation is there's a void that needs to be filled. So I'm asking you to fill that void.
Right.
One of two things is going to happen. That void going to get filled. This isn't how we communicate this is what's going on. Either that void is going to be filled with another source. You're not going to like that. Or I'm going to choose that I'm no longer okay with not having this void being filled, and it's become so big of a problem that I'm going to leave from it. but it takes so much for a man to actually lead. So if we're gonna keep our kids as the forefront, you're gonna say, you need to be with me. That don't got nothing to do with the child. Ask yourself this. And as I help, and it really takes that, like, ask the question and say, don't answer for 30 seconds. Ask the question and say, hey, do you think our child will be in a better situation or a worse situation by us trying to force cohabitation and force a relationship because of the child?
That's so good. I want to touch on this before we go. You said filling a void. But the reality is, because I'm going to go psychology real quick, is that any void that you have, a person should not be filling a void for you.
I don't agree.
If there's something that you have, a person should come to meet a need, a person should come to help. But if you have a void, that's something within you that you need to fix. And when we expect people to fill voids within us, they're never going to meet it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So,
Let's do it.
So with me,
Come on.
in that question, my answer is this. Now, for those who may not know, I was incarcerated, right? You know, in prison, the formal term is correctional institution. And I had guys in there that say, oh, man, ain't no correction about that. Man, they don't try to help you. They don't try to do nothing. They don't try to, help you become a better person. And I always tell everybody, I got so much, pushback to me. I'm like, that's the problem. You're anticipating, expecting an outside source to help you when you need to be helping you. Mm-hmm. You gotta give yourself, bro. It's what I did while I was incarcerated. I decided to go to the library. I decided to correct myself. I decided to have the mindset shift to build myself up to be who I am now. In the midst of me doing that, it is good to have resources involved.
Right.
People that can come in your cycle to aid you to get to where you desire to be, but it first starts with yourself. So I would never look for somebody outside of me to heal my trauma or give you the validation. However, though, I would like somebody to help me to be of assistance and give me some perspective that I'm oblivious to in the midst of me trying to, heal and better myself. But it comes to the individual. You say it yourself there all the time. You the one if you don't in the gym, bro. Mm-hmm. You the one you don't. As great of a trainer you are, bro, you can get somebody on the triple effect. You can show them the routines. You can get multiple base. You can put, how we talked about a little too early, you can put their kid in front of them and say, push it for them. Yep. If they don't want it, bro, you're not going to do it. Can I hold you right there? Please.
Real quick. Real quick.
Part two.
Speak on that before we go to part two. I love what both of y'all said, but I do feel where that is not the betterment of the child. Because a lot of times we're healing ourselves and raising our child from our pain. Okay. And what I mean by that is we're allowing ourselves to be like, oh, my father, my mother wasn't X, Y, and Z. I'm going to make sure that Malcolm is X, Y, and Z. And we're taking away from them growing within us compared to them growing outside of us, outside of what our fathers and our things did. So there's a missing point. But I feel like, gentlemen, we may have to come to a part two.
Can I say one thing for it? Because I'm a loser. All right, loser.
You said you go back.
Look, we about to start part two right now, but what I'm about to say. You said a lot, right? The biggest thing you said was, do you want this or not? Which means you gave a client a job to do to get the result that you want. Do you want this or not? One thing I was talking about was trauma bonding. I should come to you healed. I do come to you healed. But I also come with things that I want in a partner. If I want love and affection from a partner and you're giving that, and you stop giving that, I'm no longer getting what I want out of it. I can't give myself that. But I want my partner to give. So when I say, do you want this or not? I need love and affection. And that's just an example. I need love and affection. Right. Do you want this relationship or not? If you don't give it to me, you're telling me you don't want this relationship because I'm not going to walk away delaying or depriving myself of a certain love I feel like I deserve. Because guess what? You may not want to give it. Shorty might want to give it. And she may want to give it more natural than you. That's the part that sucks. But if we're talking about marriage, and talking about lifelong relationships, things like that, yes, I came to you here. I also came with, because at the end of the day, if I didn't have these wants and needs into a partner, we wouldn't get this far. I wouldn't develop a relationship with you because you can't take care of me in a way. But you start taking care of me in certain ways, and now that's become the expectation. So now if I'm saying like, yo, you used to give me all this love and affection, this is that, and I come to you and you don't fulfill that, and you're okay with not fulfilling that, you're not fulfilling that.
But it's not out of a void. as a helpmate or a woman that comes along, a man that comes along, you come to make the person better. You come as an asset, not a liability. So I'm adding to you, not taking away. But it's not out of a void, out of an empty place. A void usually says that we have some empty place that we're trying to get you to fill. I'm not trying to get you to fill it. I'm trying to get you to overflow. Because there's a difference between pouring into an empty cup and pouring into a cup that's full. We gotta go.
And there's also a difference. There's a terminology. There's also a difference in me coming to you and the cup is already full, and you added something and then you started taking away because you created the void. I didn't come to you with the void. We had a certain relationship dynamic. You didn't remain consistent. You created the void. That's when you.
So she creates the void, and then you want her to fill the void that she just created.
That's your job.
She just created it. She can't do it. That's the void.
What we're gonna do? We're gonna keep the conversation going because I'm hyped. But we're gonna pause. We're gonna pause real quick, and what we're gonna do is we're going to go live to peak interest of the back conversation of the original conversation. So if we all can set up our phones real quick and go live to peak interest.
Let's go.
So then we can go from there because I feel like
and y'all can drop questions, right?
they can drop questions from there. But just because I know time, but I feel like if we stop this conversation right now, it's not gonna be the same time.
Go to the Knucklehead Podcast.
We're gonna go live. We're gonna go live. So we're gonna 5-minute break, and then we're just gonna go live.
Isaiah, you made it.